Hello. Hi, everybody. We are, sorry we're a little late. I'm hoping we're live on Facebook. I think we're live.
Yes, we are.
Hey. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. We are attempting to do a little bit different format, so please bear with us. Um, Hi, everybody. I can see people on Facebook, on Instagram waving, but I'm not seeing people quite yet on Facebook. Okay. Well, we're just going to go ahead, and if you have questions on Facebook, Mike has his phone, um, and uh, and we have Candace, who's going to be able to send us the questions if we can't see them. Oh, yes, I'm seeing things here on the left. Yay! I think we're. Good morning, Venetia. Is it Venetia? Good morning. So hi, everybody. Um, okay, so somebody here wants to be on our. Anyway, I don't. I'm really new at this, so bear with us. We've got this new format. We're going to move a little quicker than we have in the past so that we can get to your questions. And so I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If you haven't read the blog that went out on Friday, this energy right now is very interesting. And I hope that somebody besides me has noticed how crazy it's been about relationships in the last week or two. Stuff is coming up. A lot of the hidden stuff that we kind of think nobody else sees about us, and yet everybody knows. All that stuff is coming to the surface. And for us to really become aware of, I think, more than anything, and also to see within ourselves the tendencies that we have to plug into some old patterns. And some of those patterns may just be coping mechanisms that we learned from our families of origin. So if you're noticing that, some of these things are karmic. Some of them are, like I said, family of origin stuff, which we call samskaras. It's like these tendencies that we come in with to respond in a certain way. Um, and I see that Candace agrees that she has felt it. So I'm just thinking that we're all kind of like getting compressed a little bit, so all this stuff comes up to the surface for us to see and to heal and let go of. So let's move into the astrology this week.
Yeah, and it exactly mirrors what you just said, Robin. It's Rahu is today conjunct Venus, and Rahu intensifies things. Venus is all about relationships, abundance, and creativity. So it's going to bring up the ways you think about money, the ways you think about your abundance, and what money means for you, and also, as Robin was saying, things that are hidden in your relationships may pop up to the surface to be healed. So Venus is also all about healing. So it fits right in exactly with what you're saying. And then, the bigger picture is all the planets moved into Taurus. So it is a little bit more stable, a little bit more peaceful than when they were in Aries, which made us a little bit restless. But yeah, still, there are these tendencies. Taurus has two sides, as every planet, every sign does. There can be a little bit of stubbornness as well as this abundant creative energy. But definitely, if you've been thinking about some creative project, it's a great time to start that right now. The other things that are happening is this overall, longer period of planetary influence, which is Rahu it is afflicting Saturn until September, and that Rahu can also be, it has this intensity, but also it represents poisons or virus, and Saturn is all about the masses. So there are definitely places in the world where this virus is still a huge issue. Although we're feeling a little bit of breath fresh air in the United States, is still an issue. And the good part of balancing that is Jupiter in Aquarius, which is giving us the remedies and the cures to move past this in the long run. So yeah, those are the main kinds of things that are happening. Now, next week's going to be very intense because we're moving into eclipse season. So we'll talk more about that then. Also, Mercury will be going into retrograde. So lots happening next week. But yeah, that's it for what's happening planetarily right now.
I know that I talked to my brother who lives in Thailand, and they're in the third wave of COVID. And people, there's just not a lot of shots available, and people are really suffering. So I don't know where you live. I'd love to find out. But if you are in an area where you feel, you know, that you're not able to get the resource or don't have the resources, and you are wanting to be free of this virus, and yet you know that it maybe like for him, it's they're just not doing expatriates right now. They're not. I don't think he'll be able to get it until July. So let us know. I think we have like there is a mantra, the written Jaya mantra that's really good for that. So it's a good way to if you're chanting using mantras. We've done the written Jaya mantra several times for you, and it's in the mantra guide, so you might want to check that out and use that on a regular basis to protect yourself. So we're going to go into the mantras, as I was just saying, and we're going to talk. We're going to do the Lakshmi Mantra. Because even though there's all this stuff going on right now, there's also this energy of
abundance.
Yeah, there's a lot of, it's duality. Here we live in, you know, that feeling of duality that we always have on this planet. You know, the light and the dark. Some people think things are good and others think they're bad.
We just want to remind you to focus on the positive in your life. Be grateful, because that's what you're going to attract. But if you focus on, what's lacking, that's what you'll attract. So yeah, always train your mind to find something good in every situation. I do these weekly astrology. You might see them on Facebook, where we take some individual and we look at their chart. And we're going to look at Leonardo da Vinci this week. And cool. You see that in everyone's life it's like a story. And there's some adversity that person is born into, and they utilize that adversity to become successful in some way in their life. So you can always use whatever challenge that you have to grow and evolve.
Yeah, I kind of think it is an opportunity for us to dive deeper and look at ways in which we can serve others. And I think that opportunity is always there. And but here we've really had more of a chance to develop some of our unique abilities and to just stretch a little bit, because it's very easy. I think a lot of us were feeling how stuck we were with kind of an old paradigm of efforting and pushing, and even though there's been a lot of fear and uncertainty around this virus, for some people they've really been able to come out a little bit of their shells and find ways to be supportive to other people without having to physically see them. So here we go. We're going to chant. And the first chant we're going to do is the Lakshmi Chant. I'm going to do it three times through. Om Shrim Klim Lakshmi Narayana Bhyam Namaha. Om Shrim Klim Lakshmi Narayana Bhyam Namaha. Om Shrim Klim Lakshmi Narayana Bhyam Namaha.
Do the Gayatri mantra for peace on the planet, especially in the Middle East right now. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsavetu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Nat Prachodayat Om Apo Jyotir Samrutam Brahma Bhuvasvarom.
Now I'm going to do something a little different. I don't think we've really done bhajans before. But for many years, when we were actively teaching for the Art of Living Foundation in the state of Washington, we would have weekly satsangs, which are gatherings at our house. There could be up to 60 people at a time coming to our house, and we would do bhajans. And bhajans are a sing and response. So each of the lines of this I will go through twice. The second time, people sing along. And I'm just going to go through this chant 3 times, but each line twice. So here we go. And it is a Shiva, a Vishnu chant. So Vishnu is the sustainer, and I think it's kind of honoring that energy on the planet that really supports us. And right now we need to feel connected to that energy. I love this chant. I love the melody of it. And so bhajans are a little different in that it is more unifying, in that we are bringing sound to mantra through our voice, but we're also focused and chanting together. It is really kind of wonderful. And if you can imagine 1,000 points of light all over the world chanting together, it is just to imagine that our community is joining hands around the world and honoring that sustaining quality that helps elevate and bring the light of consciousness into our world. And right now, we really need that. Okay. Narayana Hari Om. Satya Narayana Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om. Satya Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om. Satya Narayana Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om. Satya Narayana Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om. Satya Narayana Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om. Satyanarayana Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Govinda Krishna Hari Om. Gopala Krishna Hari Om. Narayana Hari Om.
And just keep the eyes closed. We'll just do a very, very short meditation blessing for peace on the planet. And take a deep breath in and let all the cares of the day go. Breathe love deep into your hearts and hold it. And breathe out any fear, doubt, or grief. Now just think of anything in your life or on the planet that you want healed. Relationships, past and present. Your physical body, your health, and the health of your family. And the growth of your career. What you came here to do on this planet. And your family's abundance. And for sure, most of all, for peace on the planet. One more time, take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just surrender all those intentions to the divine. I'm just going to do a very short chant for peace on the planet. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvivata Vivinatam Natu Vivishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With a big, big smile, you can open your eyes.
I think you got a little expanded there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for all your nice comments about the bhajans and the chanting. Let's open it up for questions. I am able to see questions coming from both platforms, Facebook and Instagram. So if you have questions, please, now's the time. We're going to open them up. Probably, we're doing really good on time. So if you have questions, let's hear from you. They can be about anything. They can be about Vastu, they can be about the astrology, they could be personal questions, they could be global questions, altar questions. Thank you so much for your comments, Linda. Thank you. Yes, okay, so we have one person. I hope I'm saying this name right. Mayura, right? You want to answer that?
Yeah, so the question has to do with struggling about a decision for career, whether to quit or pause or spend more time with the family. Yeah, so this planetarily, this is a time where those kinds of questions will come up. And chanting Om Ganganapatiye Namaha 108 times a day will remove the obstacles for that decision. And just stay open to see what kind of opportunities come your way after you do this chanting every day. And it's a really good time to set up an altar every morning where you can put that question on your altar as well. When you ignite the altar, you just hold that question to your heart, you place it on the altar, you chant the Ganesh Mantra 9 times, and then you close your eyes and you kind of give it to God, and then see what happens during the day, what kind of clues you get. If you follow your heart and your intuition, it will guide you to the correct answer for sure. Thank you for that question.
And then the next question is from Venetia. She said, what should I do with the water after it's time to clean my altar?
So that's good to feed the plants with it, for
Yeah.
sure. Inside or outside?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And Dorotika, am I pronouncing it right? Any advice for family members afraid to get the COVID vaccine? I know that's difficult for a lot of people. What I would say, because there's so much polarization around this, and it just depends on where your information is coming from. So I would say you can't change people's minds. You can only give them the space to come to their own choices. And what I have learned over time with people who I love, who don't do what I do, there is what I noticed that, because I like to bring everything back to myself, is that there's a nice forgiveness prayer, because we really don't know what's best for everybody. Everybody has their own path. And I think the thing is, if you have a forgiveness prayer like, I love you and I forgive you, I love you, please forgive me, it's like it clears the energy. So not so much of you is hooked into what they're doing. And you can reclaim that energy. So for your life, and that's really the focus now, is to be discerning. And there's an old deck of cards. God, I don't know how old it is, but it's got to be at least 30 or 40 years old. It's called the Dakini deck. I mean, it was really old. Way back in the day, we used to use it. And they have a couple of cards in that deck that I thought were wonderful. One was called Discriminating Wisdom. It's like, do you really want to take the energy to try to change somebody's mind? It never really happens. And number 2 is a card called Pearls Before Swine. And I mean, but it's all our own judgment if we think we're right, and maybe that they're deceiving themselves one way or the other. I would say, take that energy and bring it back to your own self-awareness and your own personal growth. The tendency to want to make a deeper connection with certain people, especially family members, I don't know, it's kind of a crapshoot as far as I'm concerned. You always have people who are your allies, and some people are on a totally different path. And it's not your job to change them. I guess that's the bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, all you can say is, or if you've gotten it and you feel good about it, share your experience. And if you haven't and they're resistant, I'm going to answer that.
Okay.
If they're resistant, you say, well, really, what have you got to lose? You can either get it or get really sick and possibly die. So it seems like a no-brainer.
Well, some people don't even believe that the virus is there. Sure. So it just depends on how far they've gone down the rabbit hole.
But if you share your experience, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Someone else had a question about using Vedic astrology to find where they want to move to. And that's a very interesting question, because Vedic astrology kind of covers every decision you're going to ever have to make. And there's something called relocation or astrology, basically. And it's if you go to our website, that's a service that I provide. But basically, there are different planetary lines running through the world. And if you look at someone's chart, you can see that certain planets are really good in their chart that will support relationships, certain planets that will support advancement in your career, certain planets that will support prosperity for you, as well as good health. And so when when we look at your chart and see what the strengths and weaknesses of your planets are, and then compare them to it's called astrocartography, and a planet that based on where you were born, the time you were born, and the date you were born. These planetary lines are set up on the planet, and so we can advise or present certain cities that you could go visit and see how you feel there, that will be supportive of whatever you want in your life, if it happens to be a new relationship or a better job or better health. So yeah, that's available to you. And I always try to mention, we give these very general planetary influences, but each person's chart is different. So whatever the planets are doing in the general way, it gets very specific about each individual chart and how you can utilize those planetary energies to your advantage. And there are remedies that go along with that to make it more graceful in your life through any particular challenging times that you might be coming across.
So somebody else asked, what do we look forward to with this coming full moon? Well, I have to tell you, one of the things we wanted to announce is that we're going to be doing the full moon activation, altar activation ceremony next Monday on Mantra Mondays, because next Wednesday, really early in the morning, like 4:14 a.m. Pacific time, is the full moon, and 2 minutes later is the lunar eclipse. This is like a super moon, so there's a lot going on next week, and so we're going to be doing everything for the full moon on Monday next week, and we're going to send out our newsletter early so you can sign up. We're going to be doing this on Zoom. So definitely tune in. So anything else that you can kind of little glimpse of what's going on with this, or have you got to that point yet where you've been looking at the energy of this?
It's going to be very powerful. So stay tuned, and we'll give you some very interesting advice to some things to do during that full moon that will be very powerful for you.
And what I like about the activation ceremony and doing the full moon thing is that we get to hang out with you guys, and I can see your faces, which is kind of fun. But this is actually working out pretty good, I think. Seeing questions, seeing everybody's thing that we've missed. Thank you for Tracy. Thank you. I enjoy that chant. I think that's probably one of my favorite. You guys were part of this organization called Art of Living Foundation, and before COVID, we would go to Boone, North Carolina, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They have an ashram here in the United States for the Art of Living, and the guru would come, and there'd be thousands of people that would show up and for evening satsang. And when there's a lot of people together singing in these bhajans, it's very uplifting. You just feel so happy and wonderful. And so it's wonderful to share them with you. So Sue, do you want us to chant something specifically? What is that related to, Sue? Could you let me know? Thank you. Let me see, moving on my Jupiter line. Good job. I hope that works for you. That
Yeah,
might be good, but
it's
it may not be.
it's everybody's, like I said, everybody's chart is different, and most people consider Jupiter and Venus and Mercury and Moon very benefic planets that can only be supportive, and they can, Vedic, traditional Vedic astrology considers Mars and Sun, Rahu, Ketu, to be and Saturn to cause challenges for you, but it's really not true. I've been doing astrology for 40 years, and it depends on your chart. Saturn may be your very, very best planet. It just depends on your chart. So it's really good to know your chart, know how the planets are operating in your life. It's like it's basically a guide to your growth, good health, um, and success in your life. So yeah, if you know how those planets are operating and where those planetary lines are, it makes really a huge amount of difference. So we encourage you to get a reading, and I think we still have that 20% discount if you use Awakening with a capital A, to get use as the promo code when you order that. If you go to Vastu Creations under Services and then a yearly reading.
That's good until the end of the month.
Right.
Somebody else asked about a good color to paint the north wall in a bedroom. I'd like to kind of hit on that and see if I get any of this right. I think it depends on where your bedroom is, because each area has colors connected to it. So if your bedroom is in the southwest,
then earth tones.
Earthy tones. It could be like that. When we had our last house in Seattle, I did the whole bedroom in this really beautiful red wallpaper on the wall and back of our headboard, and Mike was really against it, but it was beautiful. Anyway, I was kind of doing that stuff then, but I think that having accents of those deeper earthy colors like russets and
if it's in the southwest.
In the southwest.
If it's in the north for some reason, then a light green would be good. If it's in the northeast, a light yellow would be good. If it's in the east, a light orange would be good. If it's in the southeast or south part of your house, area of your house, then light rose would be good. If it's in the northeast or west, a light blue would be good. So it just depends on what area of the house it's in.
I think that I think it just and go with your intuition on it as well. But you don't want really disruptive colors. But in the in the southwest, you can take those deeper earthy colors that have maybe a little bit more vibrancy, a little bit more pigment to them. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think Sue was asking about any kind of chanting, as we're moving towards the full moon. So I think, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasu Devaya Nama is, Vasu is an aspect of the northwest area of your house and the moon. So Vasu is always a good chant for harmony in the relationships and supporting the moon. So that's a good one.
So I think we're kind of at a good place to just go over a few of our announcements. I hope you guys are liking this new format. Let us know.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, we love to answer questions, and interacting with you is kind of fun for us. So we're going to do we have this plug special going for one. This is the last week of that. That is this EMF special, and it ends on Friday. So actually through Friday. So I just want you to know that. And I think that it's really beneficial if you're around computers all day long, or if you have 5G in your house, or sleep in a room close to where your router is. I think it's a good idea to get that, because if you're sensitive, and I'm sure anybody that's online with us right now is sensitive, probably be a good idea to have that, to block that that energy, because it's hard on our nervous system. And also, Michael has the yearly astrological reading, as well as, if you want to learn a little bit about astrology, the level 1 Vedic astrology, the transformational Vedic astrology, is also on special through the end of the week at 20% off using the promotion code capital A Awakening. Again, next Monday, we're going to do the full moon activation, altar activation ceremony. And there's going to be an updated PDF. So please, we really would love it if you would register. The newsletter will go out on Thursday. Register early, pass the newsletter on to your friends. Let them know about this. And I've already talked to you about the eclipse coming up and the full moon, the day of the full moon. We're going to also, we've actually been invited on an Ayurvedic summit that's coming out of Poland, and Michael will be talking on Vedic architecture on next, when is that? Next Monday as well, on the 24th. You'll be able to access it. And I think we sent that out this last week so that you have the way to register for that. That's going to be available for 24 hours only. And then I will be doing it, an interview on the 27th about altars, Vedic altars. So those two things are kind of cool. And what's neat about this summit, I just found out, there are some really incredible people in the field of Ayurveda. Dr. Suhas, Dr. Diyard, Dr. Kori Chowdhury, all very well-known, internationally acclaimed Vedic scholars and teachers and practitioners of Ayurveda. And they're also astrology. Some of them are astrologers. Dr. Suhas does astrology too. So you'll learn a lot just by plugging into the summit. So that information is in the newsletter and also on our blog. And then towards the end of the month, you'll be getting some information if you're on my in our newsletter email list, that we'll be doing the Ageless Summit with Deborah Poneman again this year, and we'll be interviewed for about 90 minutes. We're going to be doing a presentation on EMF and its effect on our brain and our nervous system and how we age. So that's going to be kind of cool. Finally, no class on the 31st. Michael and I, it's Memorial Day weekend here in the US, and we are going to do a deep dive silence meditation course with our good friend Scott Haig, teacher and artist extraordinary. He did this picture in back of us. So he was our teacher for Art of Living, one of our teachers. And so we'll be busy with that, going deep and hopefully refreshing us. It's been a real busy spring, so this is good. All right, guys, so happy that you guys, it seemed like you liked this format. Let us know. Somebody wanted to know how to contact you, how to contact us for a Vedic reading. Contact Michael at michaelmastrovastu@gmail.com.
Or just go to the website.
Or yeah, do that.
VastuCreationsWithAnS.com, and under services you can set up the Vedic astrology yearly reading, 3-year reading, life reading. They have several options.
So we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Monday for our full moon altar activation ceremony. And please do let us know if you like this format. Those of you who are on Facebook, I think we can see this after we're off.